What's going on, everybody? My name is Kells and I smell really good. In tonight's video, guys, it's gonna be about, are you a fragrance collector or are you a hoarder? Stick around. Alright guys, so yeah, before we get into tonight's topic, which I think is very interesting, this is gonna be one of those kind of chat episodes. It's not gonna be a review or anything like that, although I will probably talk about some fragrances in between. But yeah, this video is about fragrance hoarding or collecting. Which one are you doing? Before we talk about it, guys, I gotta plug my website. If you want to try any fragrances in my collection, you can sample them at kellsmells.com. A lot of fragrances on there right now. There's Lamar on there. I have Hassavat, the PDMs. I have Manceras. I got Montals, Verjoffs. I have a lot of stuff on there. Designers, check it out. Also, if you like fragrance content, you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Beep, beep, beep. But yeah, so let's talk about this, guys. So I just came up with this idea. So some people out there into this fragrance space, some people are kind of hoarding, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna say any names, say who. There's some fragrance people out here, man. They have thousands of fragrances. And look, that's cool, you know. At the end of the day though, do you really need thousands of fragrances? No, you don't. I mean, it's cool to have fragrances. Like, as a content creator, there's certain fragrances I have in my collection that, to be honest with you, I could live without. There's certain fragrances I have that I damn near can't live without. But there are certain fragrances I have in my collection where I'm like, if I didn't make fragrance content, I wouldn't have them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to point out any right now, but there's certain things I just don't need. I mean, there's content creators out here, like I said, not saying any names. Y'all know who I'm talking about. There's some people out here, they got 5,000-6,000 plus fragrances. And I'm not telling somebody how to live their life, but at some point it becomes a hoarding thing. I mean, you don't need 20 John Varvatos fragrances. You know what I'm saying? You don't need all the Penguin fragrances. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do with that? I understand you're a content creator. You need a lot of different fragrances because maybe they just don't run out of content ideas. I don't know. It can get a little tough sometimes. Like, okay, what am I going to make a video about? Because I only have like 100 fragrances. There was a point where I had 300. And don't get me wrong, I have a fragrance shopping issue. I definitely do. You know, I have a shopping issue in general, which I've been open about. I've talked about. But I also am real enough with myself to the point where I'm like, okay, I have a lot of fragrances sitting around that I don't wear, and they'd be better off in somebody else's collection. You know, I sell fragrances all the time. Not only do I have my own decant website, but I also sell fragrances on my Mercari. Damn, having a stroke here. You can also check that out in the description. But I mean, I get rid of fragrances all the time that I just don't get any love anymore, you know? Because like I'm saying, I mean, we don't need thousands of fragrances, bro. We don't. If I kept every fragrance that I've ever purchased, I would probably have 400 to 500 fragrances. And I know that's crazy. I've gotten rid of a lot. I've blind bought a lot. Look, I'm no professional. I'm not here to, you know, I'm not a perfect, you know, finance wizard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I spend my money in stupid ways sometimes, but we're gonna get back to it. But something I want to point out. Versace Eros Parfum, or EDP, smells amazing. I know you guys probably already knew that, but just been kind of messing with it tonight, you know, just smelling it. It's a really good smelling fragrance. Definitely not underrated, but people don't really talk about it no more because it's Eros, you know what I mean? But I was wearing it last night, been kind of wearing it tonight, and I'm just like, damn, that's a good fragrance. But anyways, get back to the topic at hand. There's so many people out here that just have thousands and thousands and thousands of fragrances. Tell me, bro, do you really wear your Azzaro Chrome Intense EDP, you know, or whatever, you know what I mean? Do you really wear your Mont Blanc Exceptional? You know what I'm saying? Do you really wear your Mont Blanc Individual Tonic? You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, some of you may, and that's cool. I'm not saying they're not good fragrances, but at the end of the day, like, I'm kind of to a point where I'm trying to just have fragrances that are bangers. And don't get me wrong, I'm still trying new fragrances all the time. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm done getting all the fragrances I want. I'm not even close to that. But I've also been simplifying things to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't wear that anymore. Let's cycle that out. Certain designers, certain niche fragrances. I have some right now that I'm parting ways with that are great fragrances. It's just like they don't really get anywhere from me. They're not something that I'm like, I can't not have that in my collection. You know what I mean? Those are the type of fragrances that I'm like, let's get them out of here. Let's get them to somebody else. It could easily become a problem, as you can see. And some of these content creators, not only do they have thousands of fragrances, they got tons of other things. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you got 500 pairs of shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. How? Like, and not even in like a what are you doing way. Like, just how, bro? Like, you got a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, the fragrance like hobby is expensive as it is, but yeah, this was just kind of a discussion thing, guys. I just kind of want to get y'all's opinions on it. Like, I'm not hating on anybody. I'm really, that's not where I'm coming from. It's nothing like that. It's just like, me and my buddy, we have this discussion a lot. We're like, bro, who needs that many fragrances? Nobody, you know? I say, because I'm not going to tell you a set amount of fragrances to have, and I'm not trying to sound hypocritical at the same time, because I have 100+ fragrances. You know what I mean? That's a lot. You don't need that many, you know? I need some stuff in my, like I said, I keep some things that I'm not just absolutely head over heels in love with, because I need content. But when it comes to like my heavy hitters, like my top shelf and some of my bottom or my middle shelf, that's like stuff I need. You know what I mean? That's stuff that I'm like in love with. Like, for example, like Rich Wood right here, I need that fragrance. Naxos, I need it. Oud and Overdose, I need it. I love Zerjob, by the way. And I only have 3 other fragrances right now. I've had more. I've cycled some out. You know, like for example, Hasavat, I love that. You know what I'm saying? That's a fragrance I need. Lamar, I need. You get the idea. You can get what I'm saying. But even some stuff on the top shelf I'm eyeing, like, I don't really need that. You know what I mean? I'm starting to kind of want to phase stuff kind of out a little bit. And yeah, just thought this was kind of an interesting topic, guys. Let me know what you think. Is it collecting or hoarding? Which boat are you in? Nothing wrong with you if you're in the hoarding boat. You know what I'm saying? But just something to think about at the end of the day. And we all love fragrances. That's why we're here. That's why you're here watching this. I appreciate your view. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate all the support, guys. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to do it. Before I get out of here, guys, wanted to say again, please go ahead and check out my website, kellsmells.com, if you want to try any fragrance in my collection. It would really be a blessing. It really helps my channel. You know, helps me get more fragrances for you guys to you know, helps me review more fragrances and everything like that. So if you don't mind, please check out my website. That'd be cool. And also, like I said, if you're not subscribed, this is your first time here, you like fragrance content, please consider subbing. If you want to keep smelling really good, make sure you keep tuning in.
Designer on my neck and my hands now. Put Versace on my neck, ears bust down.